Hello, this video is picking up where we left off with the learning how to use InDesign / Photoshop tutorial. Um, in this tutorial I'll be going more in depth with InDesign and showing you how to design, how the basic techniques in using the software. So the first thing you want to notice is that these purple lines are here, and what this is these are guidelines called columns that help you kind of make your layout a little more organized. If you notice there's these purple and pink lines that are going on the side, this is called a bleed, and you don't want your page to exceed that because the printers from our publishers won't print the margins. So make sure when you're designing to keep within these constraints. And that's part of the reason why using a template or a previous spread is pretty useful, so you don't have to make the mistake of designing something with the wrong margin. So if you want to see a better looking page, some of the things you can do are going to this section, pressing preview, so you get to see a more nicer looking preview. Also, you can go to window and view, and go to screen mode. Display performance, high quality display. So lets you see more high quality pictures, which is also pretty useful. Some other custom preferences you can work on are the application frame. So when I work, I like to move InDesign out of the way or something like that. Or but if you just want to use InDesign, then you can use the application bar, which is also pretty useful too. This is useful if you want to work with multiple InDesign files at the same time. But it's up to you. It's personal preference. So basically, designing is all about consistency. You want to make sure you don't make bylines the different sizes and things like that. Just stay consistent. What I'd like to do is when I start a page, granted this isn't the opinions page, but I'll use lifestyles as an example. I like to delete everything and use a previous example as a template, so I don't end up plagiarizing a design or something like that. Now, the most basic part of InDesign is probably the text box and the frame, and that takes up a large portion of every single spread. So to make a text box, you click this T tool here, and you just drag a box, and this lets you type stuff. And we're actually picky about fonts. All of the fonts have to be a certain font. And I'll talk a bit more about how to change those fonts later. But basically this is a text box. And articles will go into these text boxes, etc. So now you have an article. And I'll make another video that explores dealing with text more. But here's text. Another pretty common feature is the frame. So this is a rectangular frame, and it's like a text box, but instead of putting text inside, you're gonna put things like pictures and pretty much pictures. That's all you'll ever need to put in there. To place a picture, it's not the same as just dragging a photo onto here, because InDesign is really advanced. It lets you display how much, it lets you crop the picture using this frame. So let's place a picture. I'm going to go to Object, or hold on, it's File, Place. So if you notice here, the shortcut is Control D, or Hold D. And if you want to place a file, let's say I'm getting an image from Wikimedia Commons. And note that you're not supposed to use pictures from Google Images because those might be subject to copyright protection. So if you want to use a picture from the internet, always make sure you use Wikimedia Commons or some equivalent free image website. Here's a nice picture. So also, make sure that you always download the largest possible picture, so then the image will turn out nice. And save it. Oops. And you'll notice here that this frame is invisible, so sometimes it's really easy to lose it. Sometimes what I'd like to do is just drag my mouse around and see where it highlights. This black square is the highlighting tool and lets you select the object. So go back to Control D, place this Service Elephas female, and you'll see that it's a very big picture, so the ear is only over here, right? If you want to change it, you go to this white arrow, and it lets you select content. So the black arrow lets you select frames, and the white arrow lets you select content. And you can see that the picture actually exists in this orange rectangle. So let me move it up here. So now we can see more of it, but it's still a little bit too big. So I can either go back to the black square and expand this so we can see more of this animal, or what we could do, suppose I had a limited amount of space on my page, what I could do is shrink this, the actual picture. So you can go here and click and drag. Press Shift to keep the constraints. You don't want to make it look too fat or too thin or anything like that. So press Shift and drag. And you'll see that this region of the thing contains the frame, but since I moved it, it's gone out of the frame. So a good practice is just to move it back so that it occupies all parts of the frame. Okay? And you can't use the white arrow to select because hold on. Anyway, sorry about that. You can't use the white arrow to move this because that'll just move this up, and then yeah, it'll look wrong. So always use the black arrow to move content. Okay, so there are some, let's see, what else can we talk about? Text wrapping. So sometimes you want to have a circular object, right, in an article. So suppose I had a article here, right, and a, let's see, a circle. Now in Microsoft Word, text wrapping works by setting the image to cause text wrapping, and it's kind of similar in InDesign, except instead of using the image to cause text wrapping, you want to use the frame that contains the image. So you can actually customize the interface here to have the tools, and I've put text wrap here because I use it quite a bit, but it probably won't be there. So just go to Window, Text Wrap, and you'll see these options. So click this, and it'll cause the frame to deform the text. If you have, let's say, another piece of text that you don't want text wrap, let's say you want to put something inside this, well, over the circle, title, and let's make it bigger. You see how it just doesn't work, right? Because of the text wrapping. If you wanted to have ignore text wrap, you want to apply this setting to the frame that contains this title text. So go to Object, Text Frame Options, and ignore text wrap, and that'll let you place title over the circle. So in the next tutorial, I'll be talking a bit more about the text itself. But before I finish this tutorial, I just want to go back to the frame stuff. And you'll notice actually that earlier I clicked this rectangle selection tool and I selected the ellipse tool. The panels actually have a lot of different features packed inside, and I probably know how to use maybe 10% of them, which I'm not very good at InDesign, but it's just a lot to learn. So if you go to the rectangle frame tool, and you'll notice that there's actually different shapes you can make. You can make a circle, and Controlling D it, place a picture inside of the circle. Something like that. And there's also different options for text frames, polygon frame tool, and I think in another tutorial I'll be talking about more about advanced polygons and Bezier curves, more custom shapes. But for now, this is the basics of using InDesign. That's it.